What's up guys, my name is Brandon and today Apple released the first beta of iOS 12.2 just a couple days after releasing iOS 12.1.3 to the public. And if you guys did miss my video on iOS 12.1.3 running through everything new in the software and if you should update or not, definitely check it out. It's up in the cards and down in the description below. But basically iOS 12.1.3 didn't really bring too much in terms of features, and that's kind of been the norm as of late. I mean, really since iOS 12.1, we haven't really had a ton of new features. I mean, it's just been a lot of bug fixes, a lot of security enhancements and things like that. And to be honest, I'm expecting the same from iOS 12.2 and pretty much every other release of iOS 12, but I do hope I'm wrong. I just feel like any major feature that Apple has planned is going to be saved for iOS 13, which comes out later this year, and we should be getting the first beta just in a few months from now. So yeah, like I said, I do hope I'm wrong. I do hope there's some new features in iOS 12.2 and potentially versions after 12.2 as well. But let's go ahead and dive into everything new here in iOS 12.2 Developer Beta 1. So first of all, you can see here the size of the update came in at 2.64 gigabytes on my iPhone XR, which did come from the final release of iOS 12.1.3. Now the size of this update will probably be smaller for you because it's going to be small for everybody who did not immediately download this via over-the-air updates and software updates in our settings. So basically, if you were one of the first people to download it, it was going to be this massive file size. I don't know why Apple's been doing that lately. This hasn't always been this way. But basically, if you constantly refresh inside of software update and you get the update, you're one of the first people to get the update, it's going to be a full, multiple gigabyte download. But for most people, it's going to be anywhere between 600 to 800 megabytes. So anyways, let's go ahead and check out the build number for this. So let's go to General About and take a look at the build number there. It's 16E5181F. Of course, we do have a long build number with an F at the end, which does indicate that we will likely be getting multiple betas of iOS 12.2. So now let's talk about the changes in this update. And there's really nothing major, but there are a lot of small UI enhancements and just really minor things that have changed, basically just refining the OS. And once again, this just seems like the norm lately, especially with iOS 12, just in general. I mean, we did get a lot of features in iOS 12, but really it's been a lot more just minor enhancements than anything. So the first thing that changed is that Apple News is actually now available in Canada. So before, this was not available in Canada, but now you Canadians do have access to Apple News. That could be a big deal to some of you. I know a good portion of my audience is over there in Canada. The next change comes in Safari. So I have iOS 12.1.3 over here on the right and iOS 12.2 beta 1 here on the left. And you can see when you search something, you can see the results here for the Google search actually show arrows now on 12.2, whereas before it didn't show anything. And this is a nice little mini UI enhancement as well, basically just to let you know, what is actually a Google search and what's not, because sometimes it can be confusing if you have a lot of data inside of Safari and there's just a lot of things popping up when you just type like one letter like H. You can see there's a lot of things that pop up, so you can really easily differentiate the Google search results or the autofill, what you may want to search for right there very easily instead of just having no arrow like on 12.1.3. Now, if we go into our control center, you can see that we have a new icon for screen mirroring. So we now have two screens right there, which makes a lot more sense than like the AirPlay icon you can see right here for screen mirroring on iOS 12.1.3. And if we go into our Apple TV remote, you can see this is how it looked in iOS 12.1.3. So I don't even have an Apple TV connected right now, but you can see this is basically how the Apple TV remote would look. But now in iOS 12.2, you can see it's first of all full screen, and we have a completely new UI, a much simpler UI for the controls. You can see there at the bottom, looks a lot better than it did on iOS 12.1.3 over here. And you can also see it says choose a TV instead of choose an Apple TV. And I think the reason for that is because we now have TV support for HomeKit and AirPlay 2 with iOS 12.2. And after seeing a lot of products at CES this year that had HomeKit and AirPlay 2 built in, this could really indicate that we could be seeing Apple's TV service very, very soon. And I think this minor detail right here does indicate that as well, because it doesn't say just an Apple TV anymore, it just says a TV. So now inside of the Maps settings, inside of the Settings application, you can see we now have a section here for climate, whereas we never had that before on iOS 12.1.3. And basically this will show you the air quality index and also weather conditions on Maps. The next change comes within the Wallet application. You can see here the Wallet application has a whole new UI. It's a little bit smaller. The text seems a little bit smaller there. We also have a black plus instead of a blue plus. And also, this is not my screenshot, but we now have a new recent transactions tab for Apple Pay purchases. It does look a lot cleaner and just the whole UI does look better inside of the wallet application. Now, another thing that changed in 12.2 is the modem firmware. This did get updated to 1.04.10, and this is for all 2018 iPhones, so the iPhone XS, XS Max, and iPhone XR. So if you were having any kind of LTE or cell connectivity issues, this update could fix that. So it's awesome to see that Apple is always updating the modem firmware to try to fix all kind of connectivity issues. Now, also in iOS 12.2, according to the changelog from Apple themselves, high and low heart rate notifications and irregular heart rhythm notifications are now available as read-only category sample types in HealthKit. So that, of course, is good news if you do have an Apple Watch Series 4 and you also monitor all that stuff inside of HealthKit. So those are all the changes I found in iOS 12.2 so far, but I've only been using it for about an hour, so I'm sure there are other changes and potentially even features out there that I have not encountered yet. But of course, I will be making a follow-up video letting you guys know about any other new features and changes next week. And also next week, I will be letting you guys know how the battery life and how the performance is. It's still too early to tell if battery life and performance is the same as 12.1.3, if it's better, if it's worse. It's just too early to tell right now. But like I said, stay tuned to the channel because next week I will be letting you guys know how the battery and performance has been here on 12.2 and also on my daily driver, which is still on 12.1.3. So I'll be reporting on both of those firmwares next week, so you don't want to miss those update videos. But yeah, I'm curious to know if you guys did download iOS 12.2 beta 1 and if you found any other new changes or features that I may have missed in this video. If you did, let me know down in a comment below. I'll definitely reply to you down there. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Also make sure to subscribe for a lot more future iOS beta coverage. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.